Episode number 25. Welcome to the Shoot the Messenger podcast. Yay! All right.
25.
Yeah, 25. We took a week off. Hope you missed us. 25 and about 20-ish views on the YouTube.
On average.
I'm not watching. I'm not paying attention to that. Big show today. Kendra, congratulations on another show. And we have the return of movie review. Kendra's bad movie review.
I'm
Let's
excited.
bring up the topics, shall we? Topics for today. Whoa, and we'll start there. This week in Reddit.
Yes, Reddit.
All right. So let's start with an Ask Reddit this week. Okay. One of our favorite things to do is to plunge into the world of the internet and ask questions that maybe we wouldn't ask ourselves. And this question today starts with our teens, our adolescent teens. I can't imagine what it'd be like growing up in the 70s or the 60s when they had those crazy fads. But I guess every generation has a stupid fad.
Of course they do.
When you're a teen. What trend did you follow as a kid that makes you cringe now? It's a cringe-worthy event, and this is the healing process. We look back at the cringe, and then we heal because we cringe so hard. Kendra, I'm interested. What did you do in school? Trend that you cringe now?
I mean, there's so many. Butterfly clips come to mind, though I didn't wear those a whole lot. That was middle school.
Those are the one with the clippy doos in the jaws?
Yeah.
They were fun to play with.
But they were but not like the big ones.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the little bitty ones that looked like butterflies.
Was that really a trend?
Yes, it was in the 90s.
Okay.
And when I was in middle school again.
Come on, you can do better than that.
yeah.
That's your most cringeworthy?
Well, I feel no shame about my goth days. No shame. Like, that would have been the years
What about
where
the fact
it
that
would
you
have been
didn't go
embarrassing.
full goth? You didn't dye your hair black. You went
My parents
half
wouldn't
goth.
let me. So I felt like I wanted to, but I couldn't. And
Just like the typical goth to obey their parents.
But I actually felt like it made me more different because I was the goth. That was the blonde goth.
Nice.
So I was
Yeah.
the exception to the rule.
No,
Unlike all you posers who are all black haired.
Yeah, you like being different. I get it. Mine was the hair. Like, I had this crazy hairstyle while everything was slicked down flat, but then the front would pop way up. It's kind of like my hairdo now. I went full bore back. Also cringy. I was kind of a jerk growing up. I would just say anything. Like,
that hasn't changed.
no, and that was kind of a trend. Like, it was right when Tom Green came out, and like we would do videos around town. It was kind of before Jackass came out, but we would like film people and just do kind of outrageous things. We all wore masks and we went into the supermarket. Not thinking like this is pre 9/11, not thinking like it would probably look bad, like we're about to rob the place.
Exactly.
And we'd film sliding across the floors. We didn't do like bashing a gallon of milk on the floor, making it explode. But we did. All right. So let's read on Reddit. Let's find out.
You're not the only person to have experimented with supermarket shenanigans as a teenager.
Right. But it's pretty cringe. Still pretty cringe. This person used Bath and Body Works roll-on glitter religiously. Cucumber melon. Oh, that Bath and Body Works glitter roll-on stuff.
I mean, yeah, it got the best of us girls. My glitter
Don't you
does
still
not
like
roll on.
glitter?
I still wear glitter. It doesn't roll on anymore.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's because you're half fairy. That's
what
why
I
you
want.
do it. This person wears those black button-down shirts with fire at the bottom, like Guy Fieri wears. Oh, those bowling shirts with the fire. What's wrong?
And
Go
the
ahead.
dice coming down and
Just like an old car. Yeah, an old classic muscle car.
exactly.
Absolutely. Anything?
Oh, Happy Bunny shirts. This person wrote. I mean, I didn't wear a whole lot of Happy Bunny, but a lot of the logos they did not age well, in my opinion.
What are they?
So it was a Hot Topic thing. You wouldn't know because you didn't go in there, but
I
Happy
did
Bunny.
go in Hot Topic.
Happy Bunny t-shirts. So it was like a little bunny and it would say something negative at the bottom.
Oh, okay. Weird.
Happy Bunny.
No, I missed that trend. I might have been too old for it.
Probably.
This guy's looking at the crotch shopping and telling people to suck it. Suck it. But that was like a degeneration act, like the wrestling. Oh, yeah, that was a wrestling thing.
I still do that.
A lot of people do. Yeah, Kendra does. NPR, everybody. In my day, we put as much gel in our hair as we could and angled it up like a ski slope. Hair was solid as a rock. If you want to share your high school cringeworthy moments, how about the part right down the middle? You know, everybody had that part that went right down the middle.
True that, yo. I did have a middle part.
I'm getting it pretty good. Like I'm ready to serve you a drink in the 1920s. Welcome to the saloon, sir. That's why this is a video podcast.
The 90s did have this really very 1920s feel with the suits and the gel and the slicking
How do you
of
like
the hair.
How do you like the new haircut? Is it okay?
I like it quite a bit. I think it looks
up. When you have long hair, you feel put together, but you don't look put together, and that's the thing. All right, so that's topic number one. By the way, I'm always pushing us forward.
Yes.
We're gonna go forward. We're gonna keep knocking forward. If you watch these other podcasts, they're fucking slow, and they start off and they're like, well, look at this room. Let's talk about the quilts on the walls, and it's bullshit. We keep.
They
it pushing.
can't even see the quilts.
I don't even know. I don't even know how you guys can stomach listening to that. But thank you for the listeners that we do have.
And we do welcome you if you feel like we went through a topic too fast. That's why we include links, friend. So that way you have the leisurely to do as the time permits for you.
That's why we include the links.
Yes,
that
it's
is
for
why.
your convenience.
All right. All right. Let's take one more trip on Reddit here because we're still in This Week in Reddit, and let's take a look at crappy design is next on the list. All right. Crappy design is a great subreddit I like to go to. Things that are bad design, like these Mamba candies here. Just a waste. Just an absolute waste of wrapping paper because you wrap the Mambas, then you wrap the individual packets, then you wrap the individual candies themselves. So
in the age of recycling, shame.
In the age of Starburst, you just lose out Mamba. I did like Mamba a lot. It was like the cheapest candy as a kid.
Super chewy, though, like
great.
way more difficult than Starburst.
Look at this map in a restaurant menu where the West Coast is in Texas, New Jersey, Ohio. Okay, so there you go. Okay, New Jersey's in Ohio. New York's where it's supposed to be. Okay. Yeah, you can't expect foreign countries to necessarily know the map of the United States perfectly.
Exactly.
Because I can't get their countries perfectly all the time either. All right, so here we go. What does this image have to do with anything? Oh, the text. Stop paying more than you should for energy. And it's a kid grabbing another kid's face.
Stop paying more than you should for energy.
And it's a kid.
I mean, I exert all of my energy from grabbing other people in the face, so...
Your face grabber. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Didn't know that a bottle of Coke could restore a lost tooth before and after Coca-Cola. There you go. There you go. Teeth hacks. What color is it? It's a red party cup. That's blue. Crappy design. Few more. They're just kind of nice to go through. This is the subreddit. It's a non-calculator, and then calculators may be used. It's the test, but then it says...
What do I listen to?
I don't know. What would you take?
I would use the calculator.
I would use the calculator. That's right.
Well, but do you risk getting your test scores thrown out for using a calculator?
You read the instructions fully. You read the instructions fully. When you hit something with your arm directly to the nerve, the wall paint. Make sure you do. Oh my God, I don't know what this is saying. With your arm directly to the nerve, like you hit like your funny bone. Wall paste, make sure you do that every time. Bam. Just that cracks in the wall. You ever have a wall like that?
Oh, it just gets in the funny bone area?
Isn't that what asbestos is? It's that kind of like stuff that hangs off the walls.
Well, that's a popcorn. It looks like a popcorn ceiling.
Yeah.
That is...
red check mark, green X makes it confusing to know what's right and what's wrong. Yeah. Which one is right?
Indeed.
Well, actually, the red check mark probably wrong. Green X probably right. X marks the spot. No skateboard, no service, no shoes, no shirt, no bicycle, no shopping carts, no skateboards, and they also have no service.
Well, that's
crappy
clear.
design. Spend some time on it. Elsa, they even got Elsa wrong. Look at Elsa's arm. Oh my God, that's terrible.
It looks like they tried to make her braid into her arm, or her arm was supposed to be her braid, and then they realized they were missing an arm.
Yeah, terrible. Crappy designs on Reddit. And speaking of crap that we found on Reddit, this week in Reddit, to wrap this segment up, a gentleman had an unfortunate incident of being an F1 racing fan, right? You're a fan of F1 racing and you post a question to your F1 racing fans. If we were to eliminate, out of all the races that we have in the F1 series, eliminate a race, which one will it be? And the question came out like that. If you could eliminate a race within a year, which would it be and why? Problem occurred when it hit our all, but you can see if you could eliminate, if you didn't know they were talking about F1 racing or racing at all, you can see where the problem entails, right? 86,000 upvotes last week. This guy says he doesn't see a race, F1 TV, right? So you can see the problem ensuing. Kendra, comment, question, concern?
Absolutely. People took this and they thought that he was being a little bit rude.
Well, obviously a little bit Hitler-esque, maybe?
Yeah, I would even go so far.
The second post also made the front page with 75,000 upvotes. Today, I fucked up TIFU by asking Reddit which ethnic group to exterminate. And this guy goes on to say that he is someone who is kind of OCD and he has to read every message. So his inbox filled up with people responding, commenting, saying this. He said there were just a few people that took it seriously and commented on like severe, like crazy genocide stuff. But most people had a good sense of humor. He had over 1,000, but he goes through his edits here and how he tried to keep it under 1,000 responses. But he did read through them all, and in a long story short, he had a question, he worded it wrong, and everyone thinks he's a racist bastard. I don't know. It's pretty funny.
He quickly corrected it, so I don't think anybody thinks he's a racist bastard anymore.
Right.
Pretty
interesting, and it's a really funny story. We leave the links in the description below so you can discover for yourself, but I think we spent about just enough time on that. I mean, final takeaways from that one, Kendra?
No final takeaways.
I left you kind of orange right now. I'm gonna change that. Can I make you less orange?
Maybe orange again?
I think you're just a little orange, Kendra. I'm gonna try to turn down the saturation a little bit, just because, you know what? You're just a natural beauty. You are. There you go. I'm saturated now, and now I'm saturated. How about that?
There you go.
Are you sad?
I don't know.
Does that make you sad?
I don't
Are you
want
okay?
us to be saturated.
I know. Well,
saturated by what?
A little bit of color. I don't know. It just seems really bright right now. Next topic. What do we got next on the list?
Friends.
Go ahead. Introduce.
Even our colors.
Introduce.
Next topic is Florida woman.
A Florida woman. Usually we talk about Florida man. Now it's a Florida woman.
Woman.
All right. Go ahead.
This comes from Florida, obviously. So what happened is on Monday, a woman was pulled over during a truck stop, and the police asked her if she had anything on her, and she proceeded to pull an alligator out of her yoga pants.
So that's what she had on her, an alligator. How do you carry an alligator in your yoga pants? Do you have yoga pants?
I have yoga
pants.
You're
a woman? Is there room for an alligator?
No. There is no room for a 1 foot in length alligator in my yoga pants.
We got a photo too. Let me bring that up here.
I mean,
bam!
It's smaller than one would think, but it's still a foot in length, and it still doesn't fit in your yoga pants.
Okay, so traffic stop. Did they immediately? She was actually under an overpass. She had some turtle shells. She had some other things. She was like a wildlife collector. This is kind of what she did. Do you know any girls like that? Not too many women.
I know lots of girls who caught frogs as a child. Like, I was one of them. Like,
did you?
Yeah. I caught lots of frogs when I was little. I lived in the middle of nowhere.
Don't doubt it.
So it's not weird, especially Florida, for them to have the mild amount of wildlife to them out there.
The wetlands.
Yeah, like all kinds of reptilian vermin out there, out that way.
Right. The state is often known for reports of weird crimes. Just last week, Brevard County Sheriff's Office caught a fugitive man who thought he could evade capture by wearing a hideous blonde wig. So there you go. They're just talking about Florida. They know Florida. She's a 22-year-old, you know? Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was 25.
The guy that she's with was 22. She's 25. I'm sorry. And she had 41 small turtles inside of a backpack. So they're out there just probably trying to make money.
That's what it sounds like. They're probably running some type of mill.
All right.
Let's not
make your money, boo. Make your money, boo. And I know this week in Reddit just came up. All right, next on the list. Let's keep mowing through these topics, Kendra. We got a full show to do. It is
the decriminalization moves forward.
Denver. Denver did cannabis a while back, right?
They were the first actually to decriminalize cannabis.
Yeah, the Colorado State was on the forefront, and now mushrooms. Kind of a surprise. Psychedelic mushrooms now legal in the city
decriminalized.
That's different than legal, huh?
Because you're not allowed to sell them. That's the difference. That's the line between decriminalized and legal, right?
Yeah.
So really what the law says is that the police cannot spend resources on pursuing, persecution for people who have these. So it's not saying that you can sell it. It's just saying that the police officers can't prosecute.
They say when you look at all the things we're dealing with, you have high potency pot, you have proposals for supervised needles, infection sites. Hunt said the psychedelic mushroom folks are following the same playbook that marijuana did. They're starting with decriminalization. They're going to move on to commercialization. Do you think there's a spot for commercialization mushrooms? Toe Rogan talks about this a lot, talking about taking DMT. I heard a Mike Tyson thing today about how he took DMT and it changed his life. These things about opening up your mind to other possibilities is kind of it's something that's been around for a while, but with the incursion of the internet and people sharing ideas and actually trying these things, I'm not sure how I feel about it. I hear that doing mushrooms can help people with addictions and get over addiction possibilities. Same with ayahuasca. These are just things that I've heard. Do you think there's a place in society for it?
I do think there's a place in society for it, but much like any other substance, it shouldn't be, especially in situations like these, because it's not just a good time. It's not like you could have a bad trip. So it's something that should be monitored by medical professionals, and or it should be, when they're talking about using it to treat depression, you can't just assume, I'm going to take some mushrooms and cure my depression. That's not really the way that those clinical studies are working. So if you want to use it as a healing property, then I feel like there's certainly room for it, but you have to respect the setting of it.
Do you think a medical setting is the way to do it? I think once you get beyond like recreational cannabis, you might want to look at least talking to someone, talking to a specialist or a doctor, at least somebody that gets a certain license about how to deal with this certain thing, dosage, just someone to talk about doing it safely, because you don't want to just give somebody a bunch of mushrooms,
Well, and the largest problem is that we don't have enough research about what neither marijuana or mushrooms do to the brain on long term and things like that, because it had been federally illegal for so long. There's just not enough research for us to really know. So the real damage is the fact that we don't know enough.
Yeah.
It's not that, it's that we cut ourselves off from information for so long that now we're like, okay, well, maybe we need to see if these things really do have answers to treat
Understood.
people.
Very good point. I think like always having a guide is a good thing, and research, of course, not enough of it. But what we're not getting enough of. Kendra, it started at a young age when she went to the dark side. Today she showed up in a uniform full of bats. And after weeks of waiting, we now present to you once again Kendra's Bad Movie Review from 1959. We bring to you a full film that's available on YouTube. It's called The Bat.
The Bat.
The Bat.
Starring Vincent Price and Agnes Moorehead. This actually came out the same year that House on Haunted Hill came out, so that was a busy year for Vincent Price.
Vincent Price was in the House on Haunted Hill and
He
The
was.
Bat.
And The Bat that year.
Okay.
So what this story is about is Miss Cornelia Van Gorder. She's a mystery horror writer. See, there's Vincent Price. There he is,
Okay.
introducing us. So her and her maid rent a mansion during the summer from a bank owner. And then the bank owner mysteriously dies the same weekend that $1 million goes missing from the bank.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And all while this is going on, there's a murderer terrorizing the town known as the Bat. There he is. You just saw him with his hat and his gloves and his claws. There he is, the Bat. Which it didn't really, the whole synopsis of why he was called the Bat was kind of weak, because he was known for the Bat because he would let bats in. That was his MO.
He lets the bats in. He's
Yes.
the original Batman.
Well, the Bat. So
Do you think this is where the hysteria about bats came from? Well, probably Dracula.
I think that this certainly perpetuated the stereotype that bats are bad. Because at one point the maid actually says, and I wrote it down because it was so hilarious. She says, oh dear, I'm going to get the rabies.
I'm going to get the rabies.
Am I going to get the rabies, doctor? Which she actually says to the doctor, who played by Vincent Price at one point. And the maid has some really, really great lines. One of my favorite is also, only a woman compliments the mystery writer on her book. She says, oh, it gave me the shivers. And the maid responds, only the shivers? Scared the hell out of me. So she was kind of funny. She was the maid, had all the really funny lines.
Nice. Scares the hell. Only the shivers. The hell got scared out of me.
Yeah, scared the hell out of me. So the maid has some really.
It took me a second. Okay, all right. The shivers. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it? Wait. Is that the maid? Is that the maid right there?
Yes. So that is Miss Cornelia and Lizzie, her maid. So Miss Cornelia's on the left, and then her maid is on the right.
Okay.
And so this is actually, I felt like this was a story of almost not female empowerment, because they still didn't figure out. Well, they kind of did. They figured out the mystery. They didn't wait for the men to save them, but they did involve the police. They called the police every time something would happen. The police would show up and they would help the ladies out, and the ladies would lock themselves in the rooms. And at one point, all the women are doing a slumber party in the big mansion.
A slumber party?
Kind of. I'm going to call it a slumber party. And the ladies are going to their room, and the other ladies are staying in their room. And she says, oh, don't worry, I have a gun. And the officer says, do you know how to use it? And she goes, sir, I'm a mystery writer. I don't write about things I don't know. So she obviously knows how to use a weapon. So it's like this really great female empowerment story. Like I said, the lines were very funny. And surprisingly enough, you didn't know who the murderer was. You never did. And you thought that you did. And it gives you all of these red herrings where you think you know. And you're like, I definitely know who.
The murderer being the guy who sicks bats on people?
Yeah, the bat. You basically, yeah, you're trying to figure out who the bat is, because the bat is actually out to get this $1 million that we really early on figure out is hidden somewhere in the house.
Right.
So the bat is trying to find the money, while the ladies are trying to stay safe from the bat and also just trying to live. Mm-hmm. They're not as concerned with the money, but they do want to. One of the women is engaged to the man who's framed for the robbery, so they're trying to figure out what's happening.
There's all kinds of stories.
All kinds of stories.
All kinds of stories. Well, did it have a good ending? Did you like the ending?
I loved the ending. Like I said, I thought I knew who the murderer was. I didn't. Even at the end, I was like, it's so and so, and then it was not. So that was really surprising to me. As far as like the negatives from the story, the whole bat synopsis, like I said, why he was called the Bat was kind of weak, and then his gloves.
Now that we know the Batman. What can compare to that?
Yeah, exactly. And then his gloves. One glove was a regular glove, and then his right glove was this fake glove with like claws on it. And it was how he murdered people, is he would slash their neck with the gloved claw. But it was so awkward. He would like try to open up a door, and then he would have these claws that were. And then at one scene, he like opened up the door and he like reached in towards Miss Corny, and the maid just started screaming, and it was ridiculous.
How old do you think this lady is here?
I would say she's 25.
See that hairstyle? Some of these women kept that hairstyle for 70 years.
Yes.
I see a lot of this hairstyle in the older generation, or I did at a younger. I get it now. They just kept the same hairstyle.
Basically, that's what happens. We don't change.
Them and the Batman. Is it time to rate this movie, Kendra?
Yes,
okay.
It is.
All right, let's bring up our Starship Trooper rating. All right. Well, Kendra, does it get a 1 Starship Trooper?
Of course it gets a 1 Starship Trooper with female empowerment at least.
We're giving it a Busey to start off with this week. Did we have 2 Starship Troopers?
Well, we have 2 ladies. Let's make it 2 Starship Troopers.
Okay, there we go. We got 2. The Carbon Ibanez is in there. 3 Starship Troopers for this?
Absolutely. It has bats. How could I not?
Okay, very nice. 3 Starship Troopers. Now we got the ladies in there. Wow. Okay, this is surprisingly doing well now.
It is.
Dare I ask, 4 Starship Trooper rating.
It has some jokes that I kind of thought was funny, so I'm going to go with yes.
Yes, the puns work. We have 4 Starship Troopers. Can we get a Rico? Can we get a Rico for 5?
Unfortunately not.
No Rico?
No Rico.
No Rico. 5. Well, 4 out of 5 Starship Trooper ratings. Pretty good. Kendra.
Very good. And actually, this story was written so early on in the murder mystery genre that a lot of cliches were created because of this story.
What do you mean?
So it inspired cliches. This idea of a big house where everybody's trapped in the house and money is hidden somewhere in the house and there's also a murderer. That cliche came from this original story. The book was originally called The Circular Staircase.
All right. So, and you can find it on YouTube. A highly recommended movie from Kendra.
The Bat.
The Bat on Kendra's Bad Movie Review. Thank you for taking us through that, Kendra. Very nice. Good job.
you.
And speaking of movies, next topic. The biggest movie you probably haven't seen just got released to Netflix. $700 million blockbuster, right? It's called The Wandering Earth. And, yeah, I haven't heard of it, but it's always crazy. I've thought about this my entire life. Like, we always have in America the biggest blockbusters. Where are the blockbusters from the other countries? You know, where are they?
Mm-hmm.
Where are they? And, you know, India's, the Bollywood, they've been doing big things. And now this is, I think it's out of China?
That's from
China. Earlier this year, The Wandering Earth, a $700 million epic. It's got to be good. It's got to be okay. At least a visual spectacle, right?
That's what I would assume.
A 700 million box office haul. There you go. Second highest grossing non-English film of all time. So there you go. Might be worth a checkout.
You know what's amazing is it was the 700 million box office haul, but it wasn't advertised in the United States. The trailer wasn't uploaded to Netflix's official YouTube page. Like, they barely mentioned it in their press release, being like, "Oh, we're adding it to our films."
Yeah, so check it out. I mean, The Wandering Earth. There you go. I'll check it out.
Worth the time, I guess.
Maybe we'll go watch it this week and then have a report for you. But I didn't feel like doing 2 movie reviews in the show. So maybe we'll just do this. And speaking of movies, I don't want to cram it down your throats, but we're getting like 5 more Avatar movies and then more.
They keep saying that.
Star Wars sequels, right?
Yes.
No, the George Lucas, did you like the trailer?
For the Star Wars?
Yeah. Rise of Skywalker. Yes. It looks okay. I mean, obviously, I hope they do something more with Luke. Obviously, Luke, what they had wrote him into was kind of a different character. Mark Hamill talks about it a lot. But
don't hold your breath.
I feel like we're getting, Star Wars is okay, but now we're getting movies we're not asking for, right? Nobody wants Avatar 2. Nobody wants Avatar 3, right? And you kind of were talking about this too, right? You kind of feel the same way.
I do not think that Avatar was worth the hype.
I don't even know what the blue people were called, but you know.
The Na'vi, I think is what they are.
Avatar the ride, it was a good spectacle when it came out, but now you're talking about we're getting Avatar 4 on December 19th, 2025. Like, what? Avatar 5 is going to be in 2027? So they're planning these things out. I don't know that the story's that interesting.
It's not. It's Pocahontas and Fern Gully. Everybody knows that.
It was, and now we see the fall of Game of Thrones. Care to comment on that real quick?
Oh, I don't want to.
Okay, all right. Well, they're doing a showing at the State Theater here in Traverse City, and we might go down and check it out. If we do, we'll take some videos.
There's a lot of public theaters that are doing a community showing of the final episode of Game of Thrones, so I hope that you are going to share the community.
Kendra and I have been working hard on theater because we have a show coming up in June. But speaking of theater, the full list of the 2019 Tony Award nominees is now out, so you can check it out. And the thing about Tonys is, I didn't know that shit existed. That's what happens when I hear about the show. Beetlejuice on Broadway. What? I didn't know. Mean Girls. What? I didn't hear it. And then I hear some of the music, and I love show tunes. I just don't go searching for them.
You gotta find it.
And there's some jams. There's some freaking jams in these.
Let's at least break down the best musical nominees for 2019.
Go ahead.
The first one mentioned is Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations.
That's gotta have good music. Automatically good music built in.
The Temptations. All right.
Get the fuck out of here.
Second one mentioned.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah. Beetlejuice.
I guess, I don't know about the music, but I guess it's got to be pretty good.
Original score. This is all original Beetlejuice music. It's got good.
Everybody's
good
talking
rings.
about Hadestown, which is next on the list. Hadestown, like Helltown, right? Hadestown,
well,
hotter than Hades.
It's not hell. It's Hades, as in Greek mythology. So this is actually based off. It's a modern retelling of one of the Greek mythology stories, and it's a musical. It's actually got a really poignant song in it called "Build the Wall."
Also, there's one called The Prom. That's going to be good. You can see a lot of high schools doing that later on. What?
Do you know what The Prom is about?
A prom?
It's about 4 Broadway stars who are washed up, and they hear about a school in the South that is not allowing a gay person to go to their prom. So the 4 Broadway stars show up and to help this gay girl go to the prom with her partner.
Modern day Footloose. I like it. Okay, best plays. There's Choir Boy.
And then Tootsie is the last one.
Tootsie's back?
Tootsie is a nominee for Best Musical. This is a reworking of the original Tootsie movie into a musical.
Barbra Streisand, right?
Dennis Hoffman.
Dustin Hoffman?
Yes.
Dustin Hoffman.
Hoffman.
And?
I don't know if Barbra Streisand.
Come
I'm
on.
not sure.
Come on. Was Barbara who Tootsie? Tootsie, I'll look it up.
So we all know that Tootsie is the story of the male actor who could not find work anymore, and so he went to an audition as a woman, and shenanigans happen.
I think you're right. I don't think he's in it then, but we'll check. I don't think Barbra Streisand's in it. Look at, oh my God. Okay, yes. Stewie Griffin does one of these. Okay, yeah. Dustin Hoffman, Jessica Lange. That's something. Terry Garr's in it. Bill Murray is in the original. Sidney Pollack. Wow, they got Gina Davis. Wow, they got a lot of star power in the original Tootsie. But that's now on Broadway. Wasn't there some best revivals? Oklahoma's back on there. Kiss Me Kate's back on there.
Kiss Me Kate. Yep. Kiss Me Kate is the modern retelling of Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew, and then Oklahoma, we all know. There's the straight shows. So there are the non-musical shows.
So when is the Tony Awards? When can they watch them? When is that happening?
Tonys will be happening, and I want to. It's always like the first Sunday of June.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the date here for confirmation.
Okay, that's cool. I'll find the date right now with my magical fingers. When are the Tony Awards? It's okay. We can spend 3 seconds on this. June 9th at 8 p.m. You got June 9th. And then later on, we have a show in June. So come by Traverse City and see it. When's our show?
June 20th and the 21st. It's sold out. So you better get tickets soon.
Well, you can get balcony seats for $30. Just check with the box office. Search oldtownplayhouse.com. That's it, man. Is that it? That's it. That's it for the show.
That's all, folks.
Okay. Good. Final. Thank you for checking out the show. I know we took a week off. Sometimes it's going to be like that. We have a lot of life getting in the way sometimes. How's NPR?
It's amazing. I mean,
NPR?
It's
International or National Public Radio. What's it stand for?
It's IPR. It's Interlaken Public Radio. So it's
and it's a part of NPR, though.
It is.
What is NPR?
Yes.
National Public Radio, right?
Yes, but I'm so new. It's really important that they're really not starting, but because I'm so new, I'm just learning a lot about the importance of being fair in reporting, telling both sides, trying not to give your opinion, which are all things that I have experience with, but
Oh my God, Kendra not giving her opinion. It's really sweet to listen to on the radio. It's like she just has to give the facts.
That is the fact.
So much of my life is your opinion.
Yes. Hey, everything's opinion, man.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, so we'll say goodbye for today. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for watching the show.
Thank you to Third Coast Gypsy Jazz for our song. You can catch us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube at Shoot the Messenger Podcast, shootthemessenger.net. Send us a message if you want us to do a movie review, or if you have a Reddit topic that you want us to talk about, or if you want to say hi.
Yeah, that's right. Anytime, just connect with us, follow Facebook, whatever you want to do, man. We're here for you.
You do you, boo.
It's the Shoot the Messenger podcast. We'll see you next week.